really difficult question. How did it feel today, Jacob?
Felt really good. The past few days it felt really good, felt back to normal. So it was just, we took, 4 days off throwing, so 4 days of throwing before I got back on the mound. So it was a small step, but a step in the right direction. So, the plan moving forward is to, keep progressing and build up pitch count and get in some games.
So, for people who are new to following you here in Texas, I assume that there would be some sense of relief that you got on a mound. Is there a sense of relief for you?
Yeah, like I said, the last thing you want to do is come in and say left side's a little sore. But, we were cautious with it, and looking at it now, I think that was the right step. Still got time to build up and get ready. So, definitely the last thing I wanted to do. But, we're moving in the right direction now.
When's the last time you say you remember feeling soreness in that area?
Left side, I don't really recall feeling soreness there. I had a side thing, 18, I think, but it was from swinging, but that was my right side. So this was a little bit strange, and that's whenever I was like, hey, I feel it a little bit, and we decided to give it the days to make sure it was gone, and I haven't felt it since.
So like the last week, you've been at some point during this little shutdown, it was like, man.
Yeah, it was gone, and it was just okay. What's the right amount of time? What's too much? What's the right amount? And we decided on the 4 days, and we looked at it and still have time to build up and be ready to go.
So that was Maddox said, that 2 bullpens and a live BP. There's plenty of time to catch up. You don't feel like you've fallen behind guys at all?
No, I think I threw. It was either 5 or 6 at home before I got here, so that was way more than I normally throw. So I felt like my arm was in a good spot, and that's why talking to the training staff and Mike and taking the 4 days we didn't think was that big of a deal, because we'll still have time to ramp up. And where I was at coming in arm wise, we felt like we were in a good spot.
So today you threw at what percentage of effort?
They said just nice and easy. So that's always a tough thing to say what effort you're throwing at, because it's who knows.
Yeah.
Like you think you're throwing at 75%, but that'd be 75 miles an hour if So
that's a pretty good math.
it's kind of tough.
With you,
so,
it's easy to do those percentages. So.
But that's where percentages are always tough. So the goal today was to just go through my delivery, stay nice and smooth, which, that's whenever I feel like I'm pitching at my best, is when I'm nice and smooth, not trying to do too much, let everything get in line, and let my delivery be nice and clean. So that was the main focus, and like I said, I felt nothing up there.
But you've come to camps in the past where you basically came out of the chute throwing 97,
Yeah.
98. Purposely not trying to go.
No, we're not going to try to do that. I've done that before and don't really see any benefit of it now, looking back. So, it'll be a gradual ramp up throughout camp.
Did you throw any sliders today, any breaking balls?
No, today was all fastballs.
All fastballs.
We'll mix that in next time.
Okay.
Was there a radar gun going?
No, we didn't have one out there today.
I was curious what percentage the radar gun would say.
But that's what we'd have to ask. But there wasn't one.
Jacob, the transition to the new team, how's it going in general after so many years in one organization? It's got to be an adjustment being somewhere new.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. But, the guys who were here before have been great, very welcoming. And then, the free agents that we signed, everybody's getting along well. I was out there watching Nate and them throw. Those guys are impressive, so fun to be around, and looking forward to getting out there and competing with them. That's what this is all about. We're here to compete and take the field and go out there and go to battle with your team.
What's the vibe in the clubhouse? It's like laid back, but kind of a confidence.
Yeah, everybody's pretty laid back, but know what we need to do. We got to put the work in to be ready for game one. That's the thing with this game. You go out there and just being around these guys and knowing them, seeing them from across the way, how they compete, they leave it all out on the field. And, as a teammate, that's all you can ask. Go out there and give 100% and get ready for the next one. So, these guys do a good job of that. The way they're preparing this spring has been impressive. So, like I said, looking forward to game starting.
I was going to ask you about your college transition to pitching. You ever think about how different life would have been if you had just stuck it out at shortstop and not given this pitching thing a chance all those years ago?
I would have liked to have thought I'd be playing every day, not every fifth day. But, it probably wouldn't have made it this far as a shortstop. So, wasn't too excited about the transition at first in college, wanted to continue to play the infield, but now I love pitching. So have a routine, you follow it, you go out there, you're in control of the game, and it's something that I really enjoy.
Do you feel like, having moved over to this organization, are you getting a sense, Mike's big on routine, right,
Mhm.
for pitchers? Is there a sense that the idea of routine will be any different to you here?
No, I think being around a little bit, you build a routine and you kind of stick with that. Early in my career, I didn't really know. I was trying to figure that out. Now I have the stuff that I like to do to get ready to pitch. So you have your in-between stuff that you try to stick to, and you make minor adjustments to it based on how you feel from start to start. But for the most part, you try to stick to that routine you've come up with.
What have the conversations with Greg been like? I mean, it all
Yeah.
sounds great.
Yeah. I picked his brain a little bit about what his thought was on when he was pitching. Having him around, like I said, anybody you can learn from is a huge plus. You never know everything there is to know about this game, and constantly trying to figure out ways to get guys out. Hitters are making adjustments, and we have to make adjustments too. But talking to Greg about kind of his game plan and what he thought, definitely took some things from him.